Hi, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know about you, but as for me, I feel so excited. It's yet another opportunity for me to be in front of the camera, look pretty, and also bring sense into our lives. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't take it for granted. I don't know. I'm super excited. One of the reasons I'm super excited is because I'm alive. I look all good and pretty. You always deny kubali too, and then the above the top is of it all. I am super excited is that we got to hit 1k subscribers. So if you're new here, welcome to this tribe of self-love. And actually, I think you deserve a good hug, a big hug. Come here. So thank you so much. Feel at home. Kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment. But if at all you are a returning subscriber, stay tuned as we continue with this journey of self-love, of this journey of self-discovery. Asanteni sana. You don't know how I feel nice. I feel humbled. I feel all good. So today, I don't want to talk a lot. I don't want to talk much. We always say that. And by the time you're looking at what time it is, you realize that you've been talking for the past like almost 2 hours. And you're like, what exactly have I been saying? So anyway, this is a skuma wiki on my... I think we talk about was even the last time I took ugali. I can't even remember. But anyway, let me confirm. Aiko. The last video I uploaded, I was just doing a random thought on about our families, about the toxicity in our families, and sometimes this toxicity mostly ends up into abuse. And sometimes we just feel it's like it's okay, it's a family member. You know, sometimes our parents say very harsh words, and sometimes we just feel it's like it's okay, after all it's a parent. But this is a way like they're trying to be like, you know, covering it up with the toxicity. And the last video I did, thank you so much for your support, guys. Most of the comments that I received were more of I'm going to put it here on description box, the link, so that maybe if at all you did not view it, you can go back and view it. The most the replies that I got mostly was about we have to tackle the issue of toxic families. And I'm like, let me dedicate like 2 or 3 more videos whereby we look at the signs of the toxic families, whereby we look at the signs. And maybe the other video then we can talk about how to like cut off. It's okay to cut off some of these family members that are so toxic. You know, basically, family shapes the first years of how we are supposed to be. Our upbringing is very crucial to people that we are going to become when we become adults. But unfortunately, most of us, we don't have that environment. We don't have that environment whereby we can, it's molded. You know, we can be molded to be the best in life. You know, sometimes we have... There's so many families that are doing okay, but majorly you come to realize that so many people are suffering because of where we came from, about even where we are right now, the environment. And here we are talking about the immediate family, whereby there is your dad, your mom, your siblings, you know, your immediate brothers and sisters, biological mate, be step children, step siblings, or even your siblings. Yeah. So sometimes you realize that not everybody is privileged to be brought up in a family whereby there is that harmony, there is the affection. Let me tell you something. When you have such a family, alhamdulillah, thank God for it. Sometimes I believe that it only just takes, you know, you identify the problem and then come up with a solution for it. Is this something that can be workable? You know, there are people that you cannot even actually, you cannot sit them down and be like, you know, this and this and this and this and this. Maybe you can sort it out and then like move on with life, and maybe, you know, amend the relationship. So maybe number one, we can ask ourselves, how do you know that the family that you are brought up in, even the family that you have is toxic? One, okay, generally it's okay and it's normal for any family, any relationship. You know, in Kikuyu, in Chinese, where I come from, in French, we say, the same acts, yeah, kunini, how do we call it, how do we say it, but it basically says that like two things, when two, like hizi vitu za kunini, okay, like, okay, let's say like two coconuts in one basket, they cannot miss to, like, knock each other. There has to be, like, the rubbing. You have to, like, you have stepped on my toes, you have to, like, you have done this, you have done this. But no matter how much we love each other, there is always going to be that differences. Just like even like a couple, they love each other so much, but you always find that is that sometimes they keep on hitting each other. They keep on, like, having issues with each other. But now what to do? There has to be those differences, but there has to be like an amicable way whereby you just come together, you sort it out. You stepped on me, I stepped on you, and then we solve it out. Like grown up, like sensible people. But now it is totally opposite with a toxic family. No matter what you do, there is no platform. There's no platform for you to, like, sit down and talk it out. You have to, like, you always, like, suck it up. Songa katamba kakitamba. So no matter the case, this toxic family, you always find yourself, there is anxiety. It can lead you to depression, because this is supposed to be like a source of your comfort. But now the source of your comfort has become like harm. Not like harm, it has become harm. It is the one that is pushing you actually to your early grave. Let's now look at to some of the things. These are some of the, there are so many signs that to tell you, but I just want to tackle like the top 10 signs, telltale signs that to tell you that maybe you had a child, like a childhood, you are the signs from childhood, it really caused you harm, and that maybe it's going to, like, bring you into the limelight whereby you can tell, this is why I behave the way I am, because foundation really matters. And that's why sometimes you find, if a child has been brought up in a family whereby there is a lot of love, yes, mama, I have made a mistake, as a parent you can apologize, you have that environment, you see, even when this child grows up, they have their self-esteem. Nobody can just, like, tamper with their lives, So number one, I can say the telltales whereby, because we are talking about from our childhood, katoto hivi. So number one thing I can say is that you are being held to unrealistic expectations. It's a big one. It's a big one. Umepatiwa, like, expectations that are like, you are still a kid, but now you are being given chores that you're supposed to complete, very heavy chores. Sometimes you become, it's like you're the parent in that family. The punishment that you are receiving, you are like, whoa, am I really 2 years? Am I really 5 years? I'm being given punishment that actually even the person that is giving the punishment, hawezani nayo. Then the number two, I don't want to take so much time. There is what we call parentification. This is whereby the child-parent relationship is reversed. It's kind of similar to the first one, but now this one is like you totally take up the responsibility of taking care of your parent. Now this is whereby you find, like, maybe the parent is an alcoholic, they abuse drugs. So now here you're supposed to be like, sometimes unapigiwa simu, you're like, come and pick your parent, come and pick your mother, she's drunk somewhere else. You're the one who keeps driving around, you're the one who you're the one who keeps walking around, taking motorbikes to go and find your mother at a certain local pub. So this is whereby sometimes this is the situation whereby you find that the child start working as early as 5 years, 7 years, so that she or he can support their parents, and maybe they have siblings. So you realize a child is neglected. A child is like amenyanganywa. She cannot be a child. He cannot be a child because he has to go out there, look for work, and come and feed. That is what now we are calling parentification. That is sign number 2. Then sign number 3 we can say is that verbal, physical, and emotional abuse. And emotional abuse. This is whereby, things like it could be your immediate family, it could be step dad, step brother, step whatever, but you realize that some of these things could be like inappropriate touching, sexual comment about your body. And sometimes we just feel it's like, we are still kids, we don't know these things, and sometimes we just feel the way they threaten us, we can't even open up to somebody else. There is a way the harsh words that these siblings, parents talk about. You cannot amount to anything. Toka hapa ngombe hii. Hey! We also have physical attacks. you know. And sometimes it's like we stomach it because it's coming from my mama, so it is okay for her to call me whatever she's calling me. It is not okay. But now, as who are grown up in that family, we have failed that kid, you know. We expose, you know, I've been listening to so many stories, and I just feel it's like, as parents, especially mothers, we can do better, honestly. No, this is making me emotional because I'm a mother, I have a child, and the last thing I say is that I would want that child to go through is any kind of emotional torture, because these kids, they're so vulnerable. If like in a family, maybe a mother gets married and the child, the baby has to suffer. They have to suffer in the name of I love family, I want to maintain this marriage. The 7th and the 9th marriage failed, so that year the marriage has to work, and at that time you're exchanging, you know, they're becoming so common, whereby a mother just gets married for the second time, for the whatever time, and at the same time this child just comes to you and opens up to you and is like, you know, the new daddy is doing this to me, and all you just do is that you shish the kid, you know. Now what you have done is that you have shut off umempatia, when you have given the ticket to that man to continue abusing the child. It could not be only like any rape, it could be emotional abuse, you know, because now this is not the blood. You just keep like the child is being punished unnecessarily, you know. Oh, we need to do better, mothers. Let's not our kids, the kids that God has entrusted us with, no matter the pain that where we are coming from and the pain that we have gone through, let us protect our kids. So that is number 3. Then another sign that I can say is exerting control over your life. Okay, we all want the best for our families, our loved ones, but sometimes we just feel it's like they're not doing good enough. You cannot make any single step in your life, whether you consult in them, whether you ask them, they have a way to come and try to, you know, manipulate it and control it. It could be financially, it could be emotional control, ignoring your wants and needs, and then they just feel it's like whatever is good for them, whatever works for them, lazima work for you, you know. That is going overboard. Then number 5, it's dominance, you know. Dominance, it makes the other family members feel it's like they are voiceless, you know. They want to dominate on every area of your life. Dominant figure, you know, the dominant you're talking about, maybe this is somebody that is over you, like a parent or an older siblings. They abuse that dominance, you know, permission, you know. There is a way, to some level, a parent is supposed to like control and care for the child, but sometimes you realize is that they do it overboard, you know. It's like you cannot make a point. When you make a point, they have to like make you voiceless, and this, the more you do it, the more they do it, the child grows up with a very low self-esteem quickly. Number 6, your needs were unmet, like being neglected. Your needs were unmet. You don't feel love, you know. The insecure attachment, they don't respect boundaries, you know. That's what we are talking about. Your needs were unmet. As a child, you needed them to be there for you emotionally. They were not there. Sometimes you are maybe pulled out of school, you know. It's a need that you're supposed, it's your right to be educated, but now you just feel it's not met. Then number 7, I can say, you know, there is the chronic conflict. Every day, every morning, every evening, your family, your parents, they are ever fighting. They fight more rather than being more affectionate to each other. You know, fight never ends, fights never get resolved, and now you find that you are always caught up in their between. And that's how now you realize that resentment come in. The parents, mama is not talking to daddy, daddy is not talking to mama. Then on top of that, as children, we are brought in there, tell daddy, daddy tell mommy, you know. Constant fight. So if at all they cannot even like solve their issues, how are they going to understand whatever we are going through? Then I think it's number 8, is exploitation. Do you ever feel it's like your sole purpose why you are created and born in this universe is just simply to care for your siblings, your parents? Do they only show affectionate and value as long as they can get something in return? You know, it's like a conditional love. Give me this and I'll do this for you. You know, healthy adults, grown up, mature adults, they have a way of taking care of themselves without using somebody else or controlling or exploiting other people of their family. Exploitation happens whereby there is deliberate manipulation, period. There is always deliberate manipulation. They have a way of twisting things, twisting your hand. And because they have already destroyed your self-esteem, you just feel, maybe when I do this, it's going to be better. Maybe when I do this, things are going to be different. My dear, that didn't help the relationship. This the exploitation, if at all it is happening in your life, remember this. No matter where you go, remember this. It is not your responsibility to take care of grown-up people. Number 9, I can say, is harsh judgment and criticism. Harsh. We all dread to attend family gatherings because of one reasons or the other, and especially if maybe you are still struggling kinda in life. When are you getting married? You're still working in the same job? Are you doing something with your life? When? How? Who? How? Come on, give me a break. It's okay for a family to give a little criticism, but it's on a measured amount. But a family that is toxic, they know how to take it to the next level. It's only meant to demoralize you, to make you feel it's like you cannot amount to anything, you know. It always develops, and it leads to you coming up with a very harsh critic inner, you know. You criticize yourself from inside, you know, and that's why you realize it affects our self-esteem, it affects our self-love, it affects even how we see ourselves and believes in ourselves. And then you totally doubt yourself. You totally doubt yourself. Then the last point I can say, it's obvious. You're not giving love. There's no love, no support, no understanding. Families are supposed to be a source of strength, validation, you know, stability. But that is the last time that's the last place you're going to find all these things. You know, they belittle you, break your self-esteem, mock your insecurities. You know, they ignore your request for sympathy. And it's so unfortunate, because now we don't choose the families that we are supposed to grow up in. And let me tell you something, it's not the sweetest experience that we can have. But anyway, my dears, those are the 10 points. It's very unfortunate that sometimes we have to grow with such people around us, and sometimes that's why you go around in the society and the depression's level are high. You realize that people are going through pain, but we can shake it off. There is a solution to everything. A solution to everything. So my dears, I want to bring it to a close, and then maybe next week stay tuned, because next week we are going to look ways on how to cut off this dysfunction of families, solution on how to go about it, and maybe even the causes of such families. So my dears, thank you so much for your love. If you have watched it all this far, it means that you like this video. Kindly leave a like, a subscription, a comment, and let's see how we are going to go about these things, you know, the improvements. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. We all strive for self-love. Until next time, from my heart to yours, namaste. Love you so much.